Are software developers making the world a worse place? That's what's considered in a recently posted Hacker News article, Are We the Baddies? By one George Hotz, aka GeoHot. So first off, what are we talking about? Are we the baddies? This is referencing a meme from a sketch about 10 years ago where two Nazis are coming to the realization that perhaps they are the bad people in this scenario. So it kind of speaks to a dawning realization that, hey, you're not on the side of the angels. So let's talk about who GeoHot is, why you should care. So he was a childhood hardware hacking prodigy. He was the first person to jailbreak the iPhone. He also jailbroke the Sony PlayStation. Jailbreaking is the process of making it so that you can run any type of software on a given piece of hardware. The reason why manufacturers don't encourage this is because it allows for piracy, but it also allows for people to just use hardware they've purchased in whatever manner they want, which a lot of people ideologically identify with. You've bought something, you haven't bought just a box that someone can only sell through their special store. You've bought a general piece of hardware that you should be able to use how you want. So hilariously, he's kind of an iconoclast, and he was sued by Sony, and his response was a rap diss, which we'll listen to. I love this. I listen to this once a week at least. So good.
Yo, it's GeoHot. And for those that don't know, I'm getting sued by Sony. Let's take us out of the courtroom and into the streets. I'm a beast, at the least you'll face me in the Northeast. Get my ire up, light my fire. I'll go harder than Eminem went at Mariah. Call me a liar, pound me in the ass with no Luke Chafin. You're fucking with the dude who got the keys to your safe, man.
So that is him showing the key, the secret password that allows you to use arbitrary software on the PlayStation.
Those that can't do bring suits. Cry to your Uncle Sam to settle disputes. Thought you'd tackle this with a little more tact, but then again, fudge packers, I don't know jack. I shed a tear every time I think a lick sang. But shit, man, they're a corporation, and I'm a personification of freedom for all. You fill dockets like that's a concept foreign to y'all. But lawyers muddy water and TRO stall. Out of business is jail for me, and you're suing me civilly. Exhibit this in the courtroom. Go on, do it. I dare you.
Imagine being 21 years old, being sued by a major corporation, billion-dollar corporation, and your response is a rap battle. Tremendous. He's gone on, he's done some more hardware hacking. He has a company called Comma AI, which is designed around self-driving. It's really hard to tell how legitimate it is, just because a lot of major operations, they were picked up by Google, by Apple, by Tesla, etc. Even GM, I think they had like Drive AI, and he's the only one that's independent. It's open source, and I think he was angling to get this sold and never ultimately did. All right, so let's break into the article. Are we the baddies? I signed up for Hinge. Holy shit with the boosts. For those who don't know, Hinge is a dating application. It's like left swipe, right swipe, and you message people and shit like that. And yes, it does pretty aggressively push boosts. So it advertised boosts as being seen by making your profile be seen by 11 times more people, as well as it has this roses feature where you can give a person a rose and they're more likely to respond to you. Some of you guys might be winners, so you may not know what this dating app is. Anyway, I am not. I'm a loser, and so, yes, I'm on that too. All right, I signed up for Hinge. Holy shit with the boosts. How does someone who works on this wake up every morning and feel okay about themselves? I love the tone of this, just that he was on a dating site, was not getting any traction, got pissed off, and then decided to publicize it to the world. It's fantastic. Similarly, with the tip screens, Uber algorithms, all the zero-sum bullshit using all the tricks of psychology to extract a little bit more from every interaction in society. Nudge, nudge, nudge. I think this is absolutely a thing. I think increasingly there's a social weight and social pressure that's put on people when someone gives you a coffee, a drink, what have you, and they turn around the screen and you're presented with a 15, 18, 20, 25% option or none. And, they'll do the move where they're like, I'm gonna look away. But you haven't been delivered your drink, and it's uncomfortable, and you're so likely to just hit the 15% or whatever. Want to partake in normal society, like buying a coffee, going on a date, getting a ride, paying a friend? Oh, there's a middleman now. An evil, ominous middleman using state-of-the-art AI algorithms to extract just a little bit more from you. But eventually the market will fix this, right? People will feel sick of being manipulated and move elsewhere. But they'll see that coming long before you do. They have dashboards, quick Gs. Tune the AI to make people feel less manipulated. Give them a little bit more for now. We have to think about maximizing lifetime customer value here. I don't think this is actually correct. I do believe that all these platforms, they're highly monitored, but I think there tends to be actually a race towards the bottom. I think rather than trying to maintain as many customers as possible, I think increasingly they just try to extract as much as possible out of the remaining customer base, whatever that means, however bad it may get. The AI already did this on its own. Jeeves, you've been replaced. That's so funny. I assumed Jeeves was the AI, but I guess he was the butler. He was the human in charge of tuning the AI. People perpetually on the edge. You want to opt out of all this? Good luck running a competitive business. Every metric is now a target. You better maximize engagement or you'll lose engagement. This is a Red Queen's race. We can't afford to lose. Burn all the social capital, burn all your values, feed it all to Maluk. So the Red Queen, that is from Alice in Wonderland, and she has a famous saying. It's run as fast as you can just to stay where you are. And yes, maybe that is modern business. I'm not familiar with Maluk, and so I looked him up, and he is a Hebrew god of child sacrifice, is my understanding, which seems extreme as a point of comparison, but all right, I'm all aboard. Someday people will have to realize we live in a society. What will it take? A complete self-cannibalization to the point where you can't eat with your own mouth? It sure as hell isn't going to be people opting out. That's a collective action problem you can't solve. You don't know if that's true either. I've seen quite a few people recently drop off of Facebook. Recently is over the last 10 years where they just leave one day. It's the people that are like, oh, I'm making 10 posts about leaving Facebook. Those are the people that will never leave. Everyone else just goes about their business, moves on with their life. Democracy, you think the algorithms will let you vote to kill them? Your vote is as decoupled from action as the amount Uber pays the driver is decoupled from the fare that you pay. There's no reform here, there's only revolution. Will it simply be a huge financial collapse, or do we need World War III? And even World War III is on a spectrum. Will mass starvation fix this? Or will the attitude of thinking it's okay to manipulate others at scale persist even past that? He's got his and I've got mine. I want you to keep in mind, so this is on the one hand, it's very funny because you're just supposed to go on these apps and you right swipe, left swipe, whatever, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You're not supposed to go and start complaining on your blog about this. This is not supposed to be the thing that makes you decide, hey, it's time to sharpen the guillotines and kill the bourgeoisie. So that's on the one hand. On the other hand, though, there's a very real thing, and I've noticed it myself, when I see what the normal user encounters when dealing with the web, their computer, etc., it's absolutely crazy. When you don't have ad blockers on, when you don't have spam filtering, when you don't know that, hey, you shouldn't trust the first 10 things on Google. If you open a government S&P 500 account for everyone with $1,000 at birth, that'll pay their Social Security because it goes up. Wait, who's creating this value? It's not okay. Advertising is not okay. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I think he's just generally upset about not getting attention on dating sites, and it's spread into all sorts of different areas. It's not okay. Advertising is not okay. Price discrimination is not okay. Using big data, machine learning, and psychology to manipulate others at scale is not okay. But you aren't going to learn this lesson until you've fed a huge majority of your customers to Moodlock. Modern capitalism is wireheading. What is wireheading? Wireheading is a practice of artificially stimulating the brain's reward systems, typically through electric currents to induce intense pleasure. Okay. Release the hypnodromes. How many cans of Pepsi did you want to consume an hour again? All right, so I started with a premise, or this started with a premise, I suppose, which is, are software developers bad people for their role in the system? And it's tough. It's tough because on the one hand, yes, we are the people implementing this. On the other hand, there's a fundamental business reality, which is businesses are in the process or in a system in which they are encouraged to make as much money as possible. And as such, you have to consider situations like this. When you have a line out front of a club, that indicates a level of interest that is beyond your current ability to just saturate. You can't take in all the demand yet, and people have to wait. So what you could do with that is you could say, rather than just everyone waits in line, hey, would you like to be part of this special VIP class? You'll have to pay more, but you'll be able to immediately go to the front of the line. Okay, nothing wrong with that. I mean, it feels bad for the other people, but you can go somewhere else. What it tends to encourage, though, is artificial scarcity. So is this a real line or not? I used to go to walk by. I didn't go to a bar. I used to walk by a bar where there would be a big line intentionally out front, no one inside, and then another line to go to the outside patio. And the whole intent in what they were doing was just to create the illusion that there was demand, that there were people here. So on the one hand, this business, they don't care how they make money. It can be selling cheap watered down drinks. It could be having people come in and pay the door cover. It could be for live music events. It could be for any number of reasons. Like they're selling something. What that something is doesn't really matter to them, and they're willing to maximize it. And in the physical world, there are kind of restraints on this. If the bouncer were to say $1,000 per person to come in, most people would look at him poorly. It would be uncomfortable. Like it would feel kind of like robbery, kind of like an injustice is being perpetrated on people. When you start to have automated systems, then it's much less personal. There's much less restraint. There's much less social lubricant and a feeling of like, we're in this together. So do software developers have a responsibility to develop this in a meaningful and thoughtful manner? Maybe. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because I'm really torn on this one. I think absolutely you could argue there's a problem. I don't see what the proposed solution is. So democracy won't help. No. Will financial collapse help? Maybe. World War III, mass starvation. Yeah, it's not apparent what he's calling for. He just says there's only revolution. And so what does that mean? Does that mean violence? Does that mean, it's not, when I read this article, this is not like a serious article. This has elements of truth in here, but it also reads like something that someone wrote at 4 a.m. when they couldn't get laid and they were very upset and they're like, really? I have to pay for the boost? So let me know your thoughts. All right, later.